All right, it's day 38, and today, I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty good. I've got a lot of things to talk about today. Apart from the fact that I've just played a tennis match this evening, and it was probably the most pissed off I've ever got at tennis in my life. So yeah, besides that point, the day's been good. Um, yeah, I mean, did what I said I was gonna do. And yeah, now it's down to sorting my schedule. Now, right now I'm recording this at 11 o'clock. It is 11 o'clock, and yeah, I intend to finish this, and then I'm gonna do what I'm about to tell you I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. And I've got to be up for something at 9 a.m. to about 10:30 tomorrow morning, and then after that I'm gonna go to the gym straight away. Do that thing, get home, go to the gym, boom, straight at the work. Probably back at working at like 12:31 latest. And then just put a proper deep work session in until like 6, 7. But today, finally, I ordered this book like a month ago, and it's still, mate, I was waiting for it to arrive for fucking ages. It didn't arrive. So I was thinking I was going to get a refund, or it was never going to come, or something along those lines. But today, it miraculously appeared at my front door while I was filling in a spreadsheet, believe it or not. So really exciting stuff. Anyway, this is the book. It is called Secrets of Closing the Sale by Zig Ziglar. Now, I don't think this is too mainstream a book. It's pretty like big. It's hardcover, so it's gonna be pretty hard to like read. It's not like one of those small books, like or just like a small one you can easily just read like that. What is that? A3? This is an A4 book, so I believe this is A4. Anyway, yeah, so it's pretty big. I believe it's pretty like fat, but of course you know what it's about. I don't need to explain what it's about. But of course, sales is one of the most like valuable and leverageable skills that you can learn. I think sales is probably the most important skill you can learn. It's got 400 pages and they're all fucking massive, just over 400 pages. So, as I was saying, sales is one of the most leverageable and valuable skills you can learn, because if you know how to do sales and you're a good salesman, as long as you know the product you're selling well, you can sell anything, right? You could go into a job at a car company, you could go into a job anywhere, any different fucking thing. And if you get on a call with someone, or someone's coming for a booking or anything like that along those lines, even marketing, just like copywriting and stuff, if you know how to persuade people to buy your product, you're going to be so much better at those things. And regardless if you're building a business or you're working for someone else and you're selling their products, you're going to be so much better at your job. So I think the most leverageable skill, the most valuable skill you can learn is sales. So I've got this book. It was recommended by, I can't remember where I saw it, but it was basically saying like, this is the one book that made me rich. And obviously there's so many people say that, like, yeah, whatever. But I've been meaning to like get really good at sales for like a long time. Obviously I've been slowly improving. I haven't just gone like, today I'm going to start learning sales. It's been a long process. But I think this is probably one of the most valuable kind of books that I can read on it. And as you can tell, it's not like a massive mainstream book. I mean, I've only heard about it once, and I was like, fuck it, I'll buy it. I don't know if any of you have even heard about it, but I'll give you a review once I've read it. I intend to read it over the next 2 weeks, so I'll finish it in 2 weeks. It might take longer, but I'm going to tell you right now I'm going to finish it in 2 weeks, because then I'll fucking do it. So I'm going to finish it in 2 weeks. But anyway, moving on from the book, you know how important sales is. One thing I'm going to do now is get this. Hold on. Let me grab this. I'm wearing shorts, and that might look a bit goofy, but I mean, who gives a fuck at the end of the day? I've got this fat notepad. What I'm going to do when this video's ended is write down everything that I'm going to do. Just everything that I kind of plan to do. Like, it's just fat pages. So I'm just going to write it as like a mind map kind of thing. And basically on here, I'm just going to write my goals, like short-term goals, long-term goals, and basically what I need money for, that kind of thing. Obviously, there's more things I'm going to add in that, like physique, body, workout, gym, whatever. But on the whole, money is a vehicle, and yes, you want money, but what do you want the money for? And that's what motivates people to get out of bed, when they know what they want that money for. Whereas if you just say, I want money, like, how are you going to be disciplined if you don't know why you want to be disciplined? You know, you've got to be disciplined towards a goal, otherwise you're just not going to be disciplined. I was reading I watched a clip from David Goggins like a few days ago, and he was basically doing a speech in what I believe was a baseball stadium. It was a bit weird. I don't know why it was set up there, but it was. But a kid asked him like, how do I stay disciplined? And he said, what do you currently do? And the kid responded and said, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure my life out. I don't know what I do want to do. I'm just finding my way in life. And then David Goggins replied, pretty hardcore, but it's just facts. He's like, how the fuck are you going to be disciplined? Or how the fuck am I going to tell you if you want to be disciplined when you don't even know what you want to do yourself? Kind of along those lines. And if you don't know what you want to fucking do, how are you going to be disciplined if you don't know what you're being disciplined for? Like, you've got to have a motive behind that. And if that motive isn't clear, you're not going to put in the hours. You're not going to put the hours in that you could put in. You're not going to do the workouts that you want to do. You're not going to do all these things because what the fuck is the point? Whereas if you have a clear goal of whether it's short term, I want to live in this country, I want to be doing this thing, I want to treat my family to this, I want to achieve this, I want to be able to do this, whatever it may be. If you have a reason for why you want to do it, and you then ingrain that and you keep repeating it to yourself almost, then you're going to realize why you're doing the thing that you're doing, and then you're going to be more motivated to do that thing, and therefore whilst doing that, you're going to be more disciplined. Simple as that. So in here, as I say, I've got a fat notepad. It's literally not been written in. Like, it's literally, like, if you know me, if you've been watching the videos, I like my notepads. I'll show you. I'll literally pull them over because fuck it, it's a 30, it's day 38, I can do whatever the fuck I want in these videos. So, I've got some of these I don't actually know what I'm going to do with, but I've got this one. I bought this one in Porto because it's just nice. Like, it's like ingrained, it's moleskin. There's got a little logo here. I don't know if you can see it. Like, it's kind of ingrained there. There you go. It's 200 years of that. But yeah, this is literally just a notepad of some description, whatever you want to use that for. So my chair is squeaky, I know. And then I've got this one, it's a mini pocket one, which is what I kind of like walk around with sometimes with a pen, rather than my phone when I don't need. I know I'm not going to need my phone when I go out. Sometimes even when I go to the gym, I'll go without my phone, and I'll just take this. I know it sounds weird, but fuck trying to fit in, So, and then you got this one again. I don't even know what I do in these notepads. I just fucking write in them. And this one actually, I know none of you actually care, but this is kind of how I move forward. It works. This one is like a timetable thing. So I got this on Amazon. It was probably like £5, £10, whatever. But basically on there you'll see that you have timetable. So you have every hour. So 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. all the way to midnight. So what you want to do with each hour, maybe. However you want to do that, and it's just like a physical way of doing your Google Calendar. And then you have your important list, so the tasks that are mandatory and need to be done, and then you have the tasks that you could also do on top of that. But these are the ones that you almost want to. It's like that book, Eat the Frog. You do the hardest tasks first, because rather than if you just keep putting them off, you're just not going to do them. So if you just eat the frog, which is a weird way of saying do the hard tasks first. Basically, it's like the analogy he used in the book was you have a plate of like really nice food that you really appeals to, that you want to eat, right? Whatever that food may be that you really like, but you've got to eat that plate of food to get a certain amount of money or whatever it may be. You've just got to eat that. You've got to eat everything on the table. And why would you save the frog till last? If you eat the frog first, as much as you don't want to eat the frog, it's a weird analogy, but you eat the frog first and then you can enjoy everything else with no worries about eating the frog later. You already get it done. And then you can kind of chill out doing the rest of the stuff because you somewhat enjoy it a bit more. So you do the hardest tasks first. That task with the most resistance first, and which will also be the most likely the ones that are going to move forward the most. And then you do easier tasks after. So you have the important tasks here, get those done. However many there are. Obviously, you don't need to fill in 5 every day, but yeah, that's another notepad I have. Not done. That's 4, and then you have this one, which is just a clear pages that I got in New York. It's I haven't actually used it that much. I've got quite a bit of stuff in there actually, but it's literally just plain pages. It's not the most expensive notepad. I got it from Muji. It was probably like $10, $5, something like that. But it's literally just paper, right? But it's just straight plain pages. So again, notepad, because I like doing things manually, analog, rather than doing them digitally. Obviously, there's some things that I prefer doing digitally, some things that I prefer doing manually, but on the whole, I prefer doing things manually because when I go on digital, most of the time I get distracted and then I end up doing something that I didn't actually intend to do because it is more stimulating, like social media, for example, or watching YouTube videos or whatever. So I kind of just stay off it as much as I can, really. I know it sounds very, I don't know, monk-like. I mean, that could be a good thing, but yeah, that's what I do. So yeah, I'm gonna after this video, I'm going to sit here at my desk and I'm just going to write all of my thoughts, like goals and stuff, all of my goals, and then plan to do that, and like what I'm actually gonna do with my time, and have it all clear here, so that I can have all of my cognitive thing, everything, all of my ideas in my head, they're all on paper. I don't have to think about them. It's just straight here, like, okay, right, so if I want to move forward tomorrow, if I want to make the tomorrow the best day that I can make it, what am I going to do with my time? And you have gym, and then you have the physique you want to build, and then you have this, so maybe my YouTube channel, and then you have agency, and you have another agency, or whatever it may be here, like 4 things. And maybe even on that, you have just the things that you're kind of going on in your life, but also you have family time, you want to add that in as well as a time, and then you also want to be consume somewhat, so not mindlessly consume like on social media, but I mean like consume stuff like this, which is fucking incredibly valuable, and you're going to get a lot of value from stuff like that. So yeah, you've got a lot of things that I'm going to put on here and just like mind map them all and just put them in different places and be like, okay, so if I want to make the best of my day tomorrow, I need to focus on these things. There's nothing else that should take any of my cognitive ability to think about, because it's not going to be of value to me. So I focus and I do these. If I'm not doing one of these things, I'm most likely using my time, wasting my time, or I'm doing something that I've forgotten to put on the list. Simple as that. But also, on top of that, you need your goals. So why you're doing these things. So on here, you'll have, I want to build this physique. I want my body to look like this. I don't want to be a fat prick. I want to look like this, for example. I want this much money, because this much money would grant me this. It would allow me to do this. It would allow me to buy this. It would allow me to buy this for this people. It would allow me to have a stable relationship with my girlfriend, and to which she won't have to work. I won't have to work. But I mean, obviously I'll work, but she won't have to work, and I can provide for her. Just any of these little things, reasons why you're making that money and what that money is going to bring as a benefit to your life. So I don't actually, I mean, I've heard people talk about goals and writing down goals and stuff, but I haven't actually seen any ways of doing it. I mean, obviously it's fairly self-explanatory, you just write them down. But I'm going to do it as like a mind map, or rather than just straight sentences, so it's a lot more easier to access. I can just open this and be like, okay, this. Why am I worrying about this? It doesn't actually affect my life in the slightest. Who cares if I lost who cares if I lost the tennis match? Yes, it pissed me off significantly. Yes, I was playing like shit, but it doesn't actually matter in hindsight. So why am I stressing about it? It's not going to matter in 5 years. Most things won't matter in 5 years, so we just get caught up in the biggest things that we can worry about, because it's easy to worry, you know? Yeah, it's just easy to worry about everything. I read a book called Factfulness by Hans Rosling, I think. I want to say Hans Rosling. I think it's Hans Rosling. And he had a daughter called Ola Rosling, or something like that. And it's basically about how the world is kind of fucked in a regard to the media is biased, because the way it gets the most clicks is to promote the most negative stuff. And the same applies in your head. It's so much easier to think of the negatives than it is the positives. So if you can write down the things that are actually meaningful to your life, again, on another page maybe, or even apply them to the mind map, the initial mind map, you're going to realize that whatever it is you're worrying about, it really doesn't matter in hindsight. So I've just hit the camera. It really doesn't matter in hindsight. So, yeah, it's like journaling. I don't get to, like, my mental health is pretty stable. Like, I've never really been like, I mean, this is a controversial topic. It's pretty stable. Like, I never get sad ever. It's weird. I'm pretty stable minded. Like, I'm always just like, who cares? Do this. Fuck it, we do this. I'm always just fucking moving, doing this thing, doing that thing. And I've kind of taught myself just from reading or just in general. I just don't think I'm a sad person. I know that sounds like people can be like, oh, blah, blah, but I'm pretty lucky. I never really get depressed to an extent. Like, obviously there's moments of sadness, like my grandma dies or shit happens, you know, but you just come to realize, like, okay, it's happened now, what am I going to do? And then you either do something about it, or you can't, or it's out of your control. Cool, then you just move on. You don't think about it. And then that's my kind of like forte. I don't really give a fuck most things, because in hindsight they don't actually mean anything. They're just something that kind of takes up your mind and takes you away from the kind of goal that you want to get to, or the end goal. So some people will call me naive for that, of course. And I also understand people get incredibly depressed. People have mental health issues. Cool. I know, I understand this stuff. And I'm saying that I'm lucky, but I think one of the reasons people get depressed and so it's kind of sad is because, one, they get caught up on things they can't control. Two, they don't actually clear their mind and actually analyze the things that they're worrying about and write them down. And obviously there are certain scenarios where people it's understandable people are worried, it's understandable people are sad, fuck shit happens, I know. But you've got to understand that fuck shit has happened, and then you've got to do something about it. And I know people are going to be like, no, because it's much easier to sit in your comfort zone and just like mindlessly consume TikTok or watch Netflix because it takes your mind off of it. But that's why people kind of fail to sleep a lot of the time, because people avoid thinking so much and avoid things like writing their thoughts down on paper, that when they actually try and go to sleep, all they can think about is the negative thoughts that are in their head that they've been avoiding all day. So, I mean, I don't know if that's why I sleep so well. I literally fall asleep within a minute of every time I go to sleep. That's not even a joke. I think I'm just pretty clear-headed in regards to, I always write down things. If I ever get too worried or too anxious about a certain thing, I just write it down. I'm like, okay, who gives a fuck? Like, if this all goes wrong, if everything in my life were to go wrong right now in terms of finances or whatever, I can just look at it and be like, okay, so that's happened. What am I going to do about it? And then I'll do something about it. So I feel like there's a lot of things I haven't covered that kind of articulate the thing, like what I'm trying to say here. So people are going to be like, oh, why are you thinking this? No, that's so dumb. Why are you thinking this? But I think if I could just put it down to one thing, if people could just face their thoughts and write down everything they're thinking about, I think everyone would be significantly happier and significantly more content with their lives and more grateful as well, because there's people that would die for your position that are living in some like fucked place. Mate, my shit is so squeaky. Living in some fucked place right now, like let's say I'm not going to get political, but Palestine or Israel, like obviously there's bombing and shooting and stuff, people dying over there. People in there would die to have your fucking problems but live here, you know? Because they've probably got family members that died. Some of them will be on their own. Like, so I understand that your stuff's fucked, but you just got to understand that. Be grateful for what you have, and then also, I'm not saying your situation isn't fucked. I know I won't understand some situations because I'm not in them, but if you can just write down everything you're worried about and write them on a piece of paper, and just look at them, you'll realize that it's not as bad as what you're making out in your head. First of all, and second of all, yes, your thoughts are going to be fucked, and I understand that you need to then find. I know it sounds bad, but a cope to deal with it, and everyone has that kind of cope, whatever it may be. Some people have the gym when they have a breakup. Some people have, if a family member dies, like people have copes to deal with that, and I understand that's probably one of the worst things that can happen if your family member dies, especially a close one. But there's always going to be fuck stuff that happens. Like if there's never bad things happen in your life, you're not living, you know. So there's always two ends of the spectrum. There's pure happiness and there's pure sadness. And you've just got to understand that the sadness is kind of, first of all, something that's got to be there regardless. But also something that you can kind of learn to deal with as best you can. And it's never going to be perfect. Obviously you're going to still be sad, but there's going to be ways of dealing with it that are better than others. And I think one of the best ways to do that is, first of all, being active and actually doing something, whatever it may be, just doing something. I think that's an incredibly good mechanism. And even talking to people, of course, that's very, very good. But another thing that a lot of people miss out on is simply just writing down their thoughts. I think that is such a beneficial, such a high ROI thing you can do when you're in a bad state. But yeah, I'm not sure how I've got into this topic when I'm talking about getting to 10k a month, but again, that's what happens when you're speaking to a camera 38 days in a row and you run out of things to talk about. So anyway, that's my take on that. Whether you agree with me or not, I don't know, but yeah, that's what I do. I literally just write stuff down all the time, and I deal with my thoughts rather than avoiding them. So, because then you understand why you're sad, as opposed to not understanding why you're sad, like just being sad. Like, I am sad. You add that to your identity as I am sad. I'm supposed to be sad. then you're going to be sad. Whereas if you're sad but you're writing down your thoughts and you understand what you're sad about, and then you do something about those things, whether there's something you can control there or you can't, like if a family member dies, obviously you can't do anything about it. But what you can do is find stuff that's productive, that takes your mind off of it, like going to the gym, like joining classes, like talking to people, like going out and doing social events, like, you know, those things where people go and talk to other people who are in similar situations to them, and they go and vent and they talk about things. Obviously it's going to be incredibly ROI to do that, rather than just trying to avoid those thoughts and not dealing with them as best you can and not finding a solution to them. So yeah, I feel like people might get pissed off at me for talking about this stuff. My take on it could be controversial, I don't know, but again, I feel like there's a few things I haven't gone over there, so don't just take it with a pinch of salt, obviously. But anyway, after this video, I'm going to go here, write down my goals on one page, and why I want to achieve those goals. Write down what I'm doing at the moment to make money, and everything that my brain should be thinking about. So, I mean, gym, tennis even, working, whatever, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it may be. Thinking about the things that are actually ROI, that I actually know are productive, and then thinking about them, and just working on those things. And then it kind of clears my mind and I understand what it is I should be thinking about. And if I'm thinking about anything else, it doesn't really matter, right? So, yeah. Obviously, I'm not going to be perfect. I'm still going to think about other things. I'm going to do other things, but these are the things, the main like core things of my life right now. And then you understand what to do and how you're going to get to that goal much quicker. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I don't think I really need to vent my thoughts, but I mean, it probably would be valuable, so I'll do that too. And I'll most likely understand that things aren't as bad as I mentally think they are a lot of the time. Like, if this were to happen, what are the worst benefits? Okay, it's not actually that bad. So I thought I had something. Another thing, I promise I didn't just press controller, just switched off and just fucking sat there staring at something. Yeah. One more thing, I think anxiety, like, people worry a lot more in advance to actually what happens, and that's why writing down thoughts are so good, because people suffer so much more than they have to, because they'll worry about something that could happen. It might not even happen. And you think, oh, this is going to happen, shit, I'm going to get fucked, or this is going to happen. But you suffer a lot more in advance than you actually do from the actual situation. And when the actual situation arises, it's never as bad as you've made it out to be, because you've always thought of the worst that could possibly happen. To which, when it actually happens, it's never as bad as it could have been, as you were thinking it was going to be. So again, writing down thoughts on that's good. There was something else I was going to say there, but I completely forgot what it was. But yeah, just try not to suffer in advance. I think it's good to focus on the present and what you can do right now, and then what you can do to maybe mitigate that outcome that you could be worried about, whatever it may be, like the worst that could happen. Maybe mitigate it if it's in your control. If it's not, then obviously try your best not to think about it. But yeah, I think worry in advance ruins so many people, because they're always worrying about something that they can't do, and they don't do anything about it, and then it just compiles in their head and they get worse and worse and worse and worse. So again, I don't know how this correlates to 10k a month. I just go on rants because I'm good at. I just fucking talk to a camera for ages, and I've done it for 38 days running now. So yeah. Anyway, another thing, I want to shout out to the guys in Wi-Fi Money Mafia. I want to say thank you if they're watching. If any of them are watching right now, I want to say thank you to them for inviting me to the group and welcoming me in there. Vexian as well, big shout out to him. He's recently just started a series similar to me. He's on day 3 now, probably on day 4. He's on day 4 today, I guess. Doing the same thing as me, and he shouted myself and Danny out in the first video, so thank you very much to him. I'm glad that I'm having somewhat of a positive impact on the world with this series. As much as I'm trying to do it to help me, I'm helping other people as well, which is why I talk about things like I've just talked about and how I deal with certain things, like writing stuff down. So yeah, I'm glad that my stuff's of somewhat value to people, and I'm glad that I'm inspiring people. And I'm glad that I've come into the world and I've made a positive impact. I think that's one of the key kind of things that I think about, because yeah, I'm glad that I've come into this world in the lucky way that I have, being alive on this planet, and with that I've provided somewhat of value to some people. So I'm glad that I've done that. Yeah, so thank you to all of them. I think there's how many guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9. I was going to say 15, 16 people in here. So shout out to all of them. Thank you. Yeah. But that said, my tennis game was not fun today. That's completely ruined my mood this evening, but it's okay. We move. Tomorrow I'm waking up. I've got things to do at 9 a.m. Get back at like 10:30, 11. Go straight to the gym after that, like literally in and out. And then come home, have my somewhat protein stuff, and then get to work, boys. And then work until, let's say, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, depending on how much deep work I do, how much but depending on how I'm feeling, right? Just do as much as I can. Eat the frog first, do them first, and then do the rest of the things afterwards. And then get to a certain point. I'm just going to sit there and read the book that I said I'm going to read, the one that came today. So read that. Yeah, but with that said, I feel like there was something else I wanted to talk about today, but I can't remember what it was. I don't know, but I'm trying to lose weight and gain muscle at the moment. Cutting is that? I think that's what it's called. I mean, I'm not a gym rat, I couldn't tell you, but yeah, I got literally all I've eaten today was a load of chicken. I literally just had chicken because we had a roast yesterday, and then I ate all of the rest of the chicken off the chicken. I had like 3 pieces of dark chocolate, to which, if you didn't know, dark chocolate has a lot of benefits. I think it's 85% the one that I was eating. So dark chocolate has a lot of benefits, so I recommend having that. I had that, I had a banana, and then I had 5 eggs, and that is all I've eaten today. So is that a balanced diet? Probably not, but the body fat percentage has got to go down, boys. It's got to go down. It's got to go down. Anyway, tomorrow, thing in the morning, go straight to the gym, and we move, and we work, and we do exactly what I put on the important list, and exactly what I'm going to put on this thing now. But I need to go to bed because it is now 20 to 12. Sorry. So yeah, I'm going to write this stuff down on this notepad. Go to bed. Wake up tomorrow. Same thing tomorrow. Make sure I get 8 hours of sleep. So I'll wake up at I'll probably wake up at 8 a.m. I'll probably get 7 because I've still got to write this stuff down. And then we move. So thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow for day 39, I believe. I kind of lose track of what day it was. I think it's day 38 today. Could be wrong, but yeah, it's been good. Yeah, be back tomorrow night and cook from there. I just feel like there's something I'm missing. I feel like something I'm missing. I think I'm gonna start waking up at 6 a.m. That means I can go to bed at 10 p.m. Sorry, I get 8 hours, and then wake up at 6 a.m. I'll probably go straight to the gym, then work. We'll see, but I'm gonna keep it going for a long period of time, and I'm gonna prove it because I'm gonna post images every day of the time, because there's a guy on Instagram that's just the same stuff, and he also says read for 30 minutes, meditate, whatever. I'm just gonna start with just going. I'm waking up at this time because my biggest problem is waking up fucking late at the moment. It's bad. And I know so many people on Twitter say, oh, there's guys that still wake up at like 10 a.m. Yeah, and that's my biggest problem. So fix that up. I know it's what you do with the time that you're awake, but I feel like shit every time I wake up because it's so late, man. So and I always get distracted in the evenings as well. So I'm just losing time. Whereas if I wake up early, I'll be so productive, get everything done. Because whenever I've woken up at 5 a.m. in the past, I've been incredibly productive. Like, I've got so much done that day, and I felt so good about myself when I go to sleep, so fulfilled. So I'm just gonna start that, and I think that'll be the turning factor of this series, because it will get a lot more. Don't get me wrong, it's been good the last few weeks, but it will get a lot more switched on if I do that. So I'm gonna go ham on that. I think I'll let you know. I'll think about it tonight while I'm writing this down, because I'm not gonna start tomorrow, obviously, because I need 8 hours, and if I go to sleep now, I'm gonna be waking up at 6 hours, and we got to build the muscle, boys. So you've got to be getting 8. Because that's one of the most important factors, and I can't be disregarding that. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Peace, and yeah, if you're not already following, please feel free to subscribe. If you haven't liked the video, please feel free to like the video. If you want to drop a comment, I incredibly appreciate them, and I need to respond to them. I'll add that to my thing tomorrow. I've said I've been doing it for a while, but I haven't. I need to get around to it. I've done a few, but I need to respond to all of them because I appreciate you guys so much. Anyway, thank you for watching. Day 39 tomorrow. Peace. Thank you for watching. Cheers.